Have you ever tried juggling? It's not as easy as it looks, right? Just like the struggle of managing personal and professional life. Imagine this, you're at a party and someone hands you 3 balls. You've seen people juggle before, so you give it a shot, 1 ball, 2 balls, 3 balls, and then chaos. The balls are everywhere, you're scrambling and everyone's watching. It's a mess, isn't it? Well, folks, that's a day in the life of many of us who are trying to balance personal life with professional commitments. It's like we're constantly juggling, trying to keep all these balls in the air. Take my story, for example. I remember once upon a time I was working on a crucial project at work. The deadline was looming, and I was buried under piles of paperwork. At the same time, my daughter had her school play. She had been rehearsing for weeks and was excited to have me in the audience. It felt like I was juggling fiery torches instead of harmless balls. Which ball would I let drop? The professional one, which held my career and financial stability, or the personal one, which held the joys of being a parent and the happiness of my child? It's a tough call, isn't it? But here's the thing. Juggling isn't impossible. It's tricky, yes. It requires practice, focus, and a deep understanding of the rhythm. Just like in juggling in life, we need to understand the rhythm of our tasks, the weight of our responsibilities, and the art of synchronizing them without letting anything crash. And let me tell you, the struggle is real, but so is the solution. The struggle of managing personal and professional life is not a solitary battle. We all face it. We all stumble, drop balls, pick them up, and start again. It's a universal juggling act. And that's why we're here today, to learn how to keep all these balls in the air without dropping any. First step to solving any problem? Recognizing there is one. It might sound simple, but acknowledging the struggle between personal and professional life is a crucial part of the process. This struggle is like a silent symphony, always playing in the background of our lives. It's the constant tug of war between our personal desires and professional obligations. The struggle is real, and it's important to admit that. It's not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to your commitment to seek balance. Recognizing it doesn't mean you failed. On the contrary, it means you're human and you're aware of your need for equilibrium. This awareness is the compass that will guide you towards the solution. It's the starting point for change. It's where you begin to untangle the threads of your life, deciding what stays, what goes, and what needs a little adjustment. Once you've identified the struggle, you're ready to face it head on. Time, the one thing we all wish we had more of. Let's dive into the art of time management, shall we? Imagine time as an empty jar. You have big rocks, pebbles, sand, and water. The big rocks represent your main priorities. These are the things that are most important to you. The pebbles are your secondary tasks, important but not as crucial as your big rocks. The sand, that's your everyday tasks, like checking emails and running errands. Lastly, the water is your free time, the time you have left for leisure and relaxation. Now, if you pour the water and sand into the jar first, there won't be room for the pebbles and big rocks. But if you put the big rocks in first, then the pebbles, followed by the sand, and finally the water, you'll find that everything fits perfectly. This is the essence of time management, prioritizing what matters most and fitting everything else around those priorities. Let's talk about those big rocks. These are your non-negotiables, the tasks that align with your long-term goals and values. Whether it's spending quality time with your family, working on a major project, or focusing on your health, these are the tasks that should take precedence over everything else. Next, we have the pebbles. These are tasks that are important but can be scheduled around your big rocks. They might include things like responding to important emails, attending meetings, or working on smaller projects. Then there's the sand. The everyday tasks that, while necessary, are not as important as your big rocks or pebbles. These tasks can be squeezed in between your other tasks or delegated to someone else. Last but not least, we have the water. This is the free time that you should always leave for rest and relaxation. Remember, all work and no play makes for a dull and stressed life. By managing your time in this way, you ensure that you are focusing on what truly matters to you while still accomplishing your daily tasks and leaving time for relaxation. It's a balancing act, but with practice, it becomes second nature. Remember, it's not about having time, it's about making time. Ever heard of the saying, "Don't take your work home with you"? It's more than just a saying, it's sound advice that can be the key to managing your personal and professional life effectively. To do this, you need to create boundaries. Boundaries are crucial because they allow us to compartmentalize our lives. They separate our work from our personal life, ensuring that each has its own space and time. Imagine your life as a bookshelf, where each book represents a different aspect of your life. There's a book for work, a book for family, a book for your hobbies, and so on. Now, if you start mixing pages from the workbook into the family book, things get confusing and stressful. This is what happens when you blur the lines between your professional and personal life. Creating boundaries is not about limiting ourselves, but rather about creating an environment where we can function at our best. It's about knowing when to switch off the work email, when to say no to additional tasks, and when to dedicate time to your loved ones or to yourself. This might sound challenging, especially in an era where technology has blurred the lines between our work and personal lives. But it's not impossible. It starts with setting clear expectations with your employer and colleagues about your work hours and availability. It continues with discipline and consistency in maintaining these boundaries. Creating boundaries also extends to our personal life. It's about respecting your own time and not letting your personal life encroach on your professional responsibilities. Remember, the goal here is balance. There will be times when work might require more attention and other times when your personal life will take precedence. That's okay. The key is to not let one overtake the other consistently. When you set clear boundaries, you not only manage your time better but also improve the quality of your life. It's about making the most of the 24 hours in a day so you can excel professionally, personally, and enjoy the journey along the way. You can't pour from an empty cup. This is a timeless saying, and it captures the essence of self-care perfectly. It's about replenishing your own reserves before you can effectively give to others or your work. Self-care is not about self-indulgence or being selfish. It's about understanding what you need to do to stay healthy, balanced, and motivated. This could be as simple as taking a brisk walk in the park, reading a book, or even spending a quiet moment alone. When you take care of your physical health, your body is better equipped to handle stress. And when you nurture your mental health, you're more resilient in the face of challenges. This balance can lead to improved performance at work, more energy for your personal life, and generally a more joyful existence. So, make it a priority to refill your cup, because when you're at your best, you can give your best to the world around you. Remember, self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So, let's do a quick recap, shall we? In the grand circus of life, we all play the juggler, keeping our personal and professional lives up in the air, hoping they don't come crashing down. It's an act that requires skill, balance, and a dash of daring. And the first step, recognizing the struggle. It's okay to admit that it's not easy, that sometimes things get tough. There's no shame in acknowledging that you're human and that you can't do it all. Life is a process, and sometimes it's about learning to dance in the rain while we wait for the storm to pass. Next, we talked about the importance of prioritizing your time. Remember, not all tasks are created equal. Some are more important than others. Some are more urgent. The key is to identify what matters most to you, to understand what brings you closer to your goals and gives you fulfillment. That's where your time and energy should go. It's about working smarter, not harder. Then we moved on to setting boundaries. This is your fortress, your sanctuary. It's where you draw the line between your work and your personal life. It's saying no when you need to. It's taking a break when you need to. It's about respecting your time, your space, and your peace of mind. Remember, it's not selfish, it's necessary. And lastly, we emphasize the importance of self-care. It's not just about bubble baths and spa days, although those are nice too. It's about taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional health. It's about nurturing yourself, about feeding your soul, about taking time to breathe, to rest, to recharge. It's about remembering that you can't pour from an empty cup. So there you have it. The art of juggling personal and professional life is not a trick. It's a journey. It's about balance, about understanding, about compassion for yourself. And remember, like any skill, managing your personal and professional life takes practice. So keep at it and don't be too hard on yourself. It's a juggle, but you've got this.